It's really exciting to see what can come. I mean, I feel very strongly that we are getting to the point where ALS will be a livable disease and we will have treatments and we will have a cure.
I haven't been doing this that long, but in the period of time that I have, the number of available clinical trials has exploded. I remember starting off, we had one clinical trial that was a drug trial, and that was basically it in the Twin Cities, and there was nothing else going on. Now, over the years, we have so many drug trials, some really innovative drug trials, lots of different kinds of treatments and different medications that try to treat ALS from so many different directions, where it's almost hard to choose what patients should do in terms of clinical research. So I think that is what's exciting, and that's only possible because there's interested researchers, more funding, hopefully more funding to come, and of course the patients, their willingness to put their time in to a clinical trial, to take something that's experimental, hoping that it will benefit them or ALS in general for the greater good.
I understand the frustration and not knowing, is it working or isn't it working? You know, she unfortunately is in that group that they're really learning from. And so as we've gone through this, when she's wanted to stop, it's the pay it forward mentality. Look at what you're doing to help everybody else. So I think it's just going to be more and more people like her willing to do whatever they can to learn what we can from people that have it.
I had seen through research in the internet, you know, we're all doctors with Google, so. I had seen Radicava, and I knew it was the first treatment in, 20 some years, I believe, after Riluzole, which was a pill that they say could extend life 3 to 6 months. I took Riluzole anyway, and I have no side effects, so I've been taking it the whole time. It's just a pill, it's easy. Radicava, I don't think I understood the infusion process, because how could you if you haven't done it? They scheduled me for my port right away, got that in. The first dose was in an infusion clinic so they could monitor you, and then ever since then I've done it at home every single time.
All right, first things first, get that in clean hands with some hand sanitizer.
I have mixed feelings about Radicava. Radicava is a sign of more to come, but it's not the solution. It's not the answer. It's a tool we have in the toolbox. I'm happy to provide it and manage it and give it and prescribe it to patients. But I think what I'm hopeful for more than anything is that it's just a sign of where research is heading, so that we have more and more treatments that are more effective, less cumbersome on quality of life and how to take an infusion. And I think if Radicava was much more effective, much more people would do it.
So I've been infusing for 53 months, 4 years and 5 months.
This is my port, and it's accessed. That's what they call it, accessed. So I'm infusing right now.
The next thing we do is we're going to put the saline in first.
A small percentage of patients take Radicava, kind of taking a leap of faith, not knowing how much it's going to help them. Because there's always going to be the question, well, what if I didn't do it? Would I be worse off? And that is something that is very hard to answer. Even when we see them every 3 months and examine them and ask them questions, it's really hard to know what kind of benefit it's providing.
And then we say, Alexa, set timer for 23 minutes.
She's doing really well with the life expectancy, so obviously the drugs are starting to get better. So
every other drug, it doesn't say it works this fast and keeps people alive for this long, so I've loved the Radicava. Ever since she switched to it, she's been way happier and way more active.
Last but not least is my reward for getting through it. And yes, it's a glass of wine, and yes, this is a straw. A girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do.
If a patient is feeling cared for and getting their needs met, they're much more likely to participate in research, right? If they're worrying about what they're gonna do tomorrow or next week because they don't know what to do, then asking them to come in for more visits, to take more blood and participate in research isn't fair, isn't feasible. They have to live their life. And so if we can help them with high quality of care, live their life the best way they can despite their limitations, optimize their function, optimize their quality of life, take care of their caregivers, educate them, control their symptoms, then they will more likely be willing to participate in research. People want to participate in research, but they don't want to see it as a burden. And so we have to lessen that burden so that they can feel motivated to participate. Whether it benefits them or not, they'll do it, but not until we can really make sure they're cared for and feeling comfortable doing it.
In my lifetime, if I could just experience that a cure had been found, it's never going to come soon enough for our family. But I know that Gayle has been such a champion and an advocate for raising the funds to make that funding and the possibilities of going toward a cure, making it so much more feasible. Just keep funding, keep bringing the resources so that one day a family in the future and a doctor cannot say that painful goodbye. They can just manage it and find the cure and turn that horrific end to the possibility of extending life and just making that cure possible and a family staying intact for longer.
We have to keep moving. We have to keep pushing forward, because if the current medications and drugs and treatments, if they're not the answer, then there has to be something next. And so there has to be more and more research into what causes ALS, better understanding the diseases, because by better understanding it, that will influence the really smart researchers to figure out medications to actually target ALS, whether it's medications you take by mouth, infusions, stem cells, or genetic-based therapies. We need that development in the front end, and that takes funding, right? To fund the people who are waiting to do the research. I think more likely, initially, we're going to see treatments that will be added to other treatments that will start to slow down ALS in a much more meaningful way, where it becomes, what I hope, a more chronic illness that people live with and don't need to come see me every 3 months, because they're out living their life with a disease that's not continuously progressing in a serious way. And so that's what I'm hopeful for, a disease that we can stop, prevent, but until we get there, one that we can significantly slow down so that people can live a more normal life.